As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Hello, and welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I like to start each episode by sharing a bit about my favorite practice management software, Jane. We've used Jane at Vancouver Wellness Studio since 2019, and we love how intuitive it is. We love that it's beautifully designed and fun to use, and that the Jane team is invested in our story as a small business. The last part is really key for me and us here at VWS. The Jane team feels like they're here with us and part of our staff team. Their phone and email support, as well as their self-led guides, were incredible resources as we got started and added new team members. And a few years in, we can still call and email for help. We've never been left in the dark on how to edit something, make a change, or simply ask a question. Like starting any business, there are investment decisions you need to make about where to put your dollars. Jane made it easy for us to say, yes, this is a smart business decision. When we saw that we'd have unlimited support, that the cost of Jane felt fair and fit within our budget, and that we'd be able to have a say in features and how the software grows, we were in. It changes everything when you use a software and work with a team that cares about your journey. That in turn helps us to feel confident booking clients in, processing payments, and helping our own customers grow. If you want to get started with Jane, you can head on over to jane.app. From there, you can book a one-on-one demo to see Jane in action, or if you know you're ready to get started, mention the Wellness Center Creators Podcast for a 1-month grace period applied to your new Jane account. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, we have Monika Marx. Monika is a product specialist with Jane app. You've all heard me talk about Jane quite a bit. So Monika is responsible for onboarding all U.S. corporate accounts. She is a former business owner and appreciator of how software can make day-to-day operations more efficient and enjoyable. When not working remotely from her log cabin in the West Kootenay Mountains, she can be found wandering in the forest with her rescue dog, Marlo. Welcome, Monika.
Oh, hi, Kendall. Nice to be here.
Did I say Kootenay correctly? I'm not from Canada.
Yeah, no worries. It's actually Kootenay. So Kootenay Mountains are located really close to Kootenay Lake. So kind of think southeastern kind of tip of British Columbia.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for clarifying that for me.
No worries.
Okay, so let's talk about all things Jane. First, if you could tell us a bit more about Jane's entry into the U.S. market, because Jane is a Canadian-based company.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, and I'll kind of step back in time to my former life as a business owner, and I love what you're doing. I had a quick look through, and I mean, business owners we know need a lot of support. It's full on for sure. So I owned a gym in North Vancouver, British Columbia, and there was a new clinic that kind of popped up, and it was actually opened up by the co-owner, Allie, of Jane. So she's a clinic owner as well, and she needed a solution for running her own practice. So I had a large referral system that was mostly clinicians to my gym. And what I noticed is over time, everyone started using Jane. So it was pretty interesting how Allie needs a solution, reached out to her friend Trevor, who is now the other co-owner of Jane, and they developed this amazing product, and it just kind of, word of mouth happened. So I started to see it being used a lot, obviously in Canada. And then we started to get some traction in the US, kind of like late 2018, early 2019. Again, just kind of word of mouth. It started growing mostly in like US cash practices. But what we started to see is that, well, they also need a solution for insurance as well, right? So product team started to kind of develop that and build that. We didn't have any US insurance features, and now I'm really proud of our US insurance features for sure. And yeah, so that's kind of the backstory.
So let's talk a bit about the differences between Canada and the United States medical systems.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely unique. I think the one thing that's nice about the US is you've got kind of a universally adopted processes to bill versus in Canada where you don't. Codes can be specific to insurers, specific to province. Provinces are equivalents to states. So there's no really like consistency across the board in Canada, but in the US there is. So that it's definitely different.
Tell us more about the U.S. insurance features in Jane, because this is one of the number one questions I get as a coach. And we are a private pay clinic at my own clinic here in Vancouver, Washington, U.S. And so we use out-of-network features, and I've been trying to learn more about the in-network insurance features, but it's a bit out of my wheelhouse, and I do get asked about it quite often.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you're probably quite familiar with super bills, and even if you're out of network, still people are looking for those. But when you're in network, what you have the opportunity to do in Jane is electronically create your claim submissions right in Jane, which is really exciting. And I've seen so much evolution of our features even since I started at Jane about 18 months ago. ERAs kind of came online. So now you can electronically create claim submissions for primaries. And we're pretty happy to say that as of October, you can also do the same for secondary. So it just makes it easy. The nice thing about creating electronic submissions is it also opened up the opportunity to be able to record your payments electronically as well. So, we can go into the clearinghouse, we can download our ERA, and that information all just populates into Jane. Gone are kind of the days where you had to manually record every EOB in your software. Jane's doing all that kind of heavy lifting for our clinics. And sometimes I still get on the phones a couple hours every day and just talk to all kinds of size clinics. And when I find those clinics that aren't using our electronic features yet, I'm always like, please do it. It's so worth it. It makes life so much easier. It kind of eliminates, again, the possibility for human error, because Jane's going to preload all that information in, and then you just have to literally do a quick view and approve and click a button, and it's recorded and done. So pretty exciting.
Isn't that funny? It's so exciting. And it always makes me laugh a little bit and I went through it too when we switched from even paper charting to online charting for the first time. Like, change is hard, and it's scary to move to a new way of doing things. But when technology works properly, as Jane does, it makes our lives easier. So we do appreciate that.
Hey there, this is Katie from Jane. Jane is an all-in-one practice management software with features that can help you manage and grow your practice. Some of those features include Jane's client-friendly online booking, integrated one-on-one telehealth, and our unified payment solution that makes it easy to process payments in person or online. And not to toot our own horn, but we have a ridiculously good support team who's here for you in every step of your journey. You can call us, email us, or chat with us. Support is unlimited, so take advantage of it. Head to jane.app to connect with a member of our team. Or if you're ready to get started with Jane, mention the Wellness Center Creators Podcast for a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. Talk soon.
What are some challenges you see clinics facing when billing insurance?
Well, I think, the challenge is often for clinics. So when I look at the small practices and the solo practitioners, it's just that they're doing it all the time, so we all suffer from time poverty, but they're having to be the experts at treating, and then they're having to carry that over into admin practices and then become experts in US insurance billing. So, there's a lot to know if you haven't done it before. So that's definitely a challenge, is just kind of that learning curve. And we do our best to definitely support them through that. With the corporate size clinics, the bigger clinics, I think because you've got kind of more hands in the pot at times. So it's really making sure during the onboarding process that we know who's doing what and we understand the workflows in Jane, and that everyone's on the same page, and making sure that we're all working together. So those are definitely some of the challenges that I see, is just kind of the learning curve. There's always a learning curve when you're transitioning to a new software. And often our corporate clinics are coming over from a previous software experience, right? So just kind of training them and coaching them into how things work in Jane.
What's the future of US insurance billing in particular for Jane?
Well, the amazing thing about being here at Jane is definitely like customer feedback is what drives kind of our product development. And so kind of what we see coming on board, what I'm pretty excited about, is we're going to go into beta testing, I think by the end of this year, with a direct clearinghouse integration. So that's big for us. So we're really excited about that. And I think that is going to be a game changer for sure, because you'll be able to directly in Jane get that just view right into the clearinghouse of where your claims are at. And, instead of having to go externally. And then it'll just kind of depend. Like, again, I reached out to our product manager in US Insurance, and again, it's kind of what our users need. So we keep looking at our feature requests. And if there's anyone listening that's not aware, you can actually just from a button in your Jane account, have a look at our roadmap for development. You can upvote feature requests, add comments to those, as well as create your own. So we have a whole team that looks at those regularly and conveys all that back to product. Yeah, so it's always exciting, always in a state of evolution for sure.
I'm curious to know, just on a more personal level, what is your favorite part about working at Jane?
Oh, well, I love the onboarding process. And I think this kind of comes back to, the business owner in me. I use very similar softwares to run my gym. And I know what a make or break a good guiding hand can be when you're kind of getting things set up. So, my favorite thing is just I get to be as the corporate contact, that point of contact for the first 3 months. So I get to really know my clinics. I get to know their businesses and what they're looking for, and then kind of guide them and help them get set up. So really, I get to set them up for success, and it's really satisfying.
I love that. I know we very much appreciated that process when we were onboarding. Absolutely. And then last question before I let you go, I always like to ask, since you were a previous business owner, what's that one piece of advice you would give a new entrepreneur or someone starting out who's building a new clinic?
It's, one of the things that I always thought of it had in mind was kind of start the way you want to finish, right? So kind of look ahead, know where you want to be, and how do you streamline that process? I mean, we've all heard that, work smart, not hard, but again, what can help you get there? Having an intuitive, helpful software can be the make or break. And I've used more than one in my time. I transitioned during COVID into another software because I just needed different features. And again, it can a good software that does it all, whether it's, your online booking, your scheduling, your payment processing, can really be the make or break. So if it's intuitive and you've got a good support team on the other end that's going to help you through that, that can just make the day-to-day so much easier. So look for those systems that are going to make life better for sure.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Monika, thank you so much for being here. It was great to chat with you today.
Lovely to chat with you as well. Take care, Kendall.
Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. Plus, if you do have time, please subscribe to the podcast and please consider rating and reviewing the show. That will help other people find us. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.